Hi, this is Dave T. here with John Falstrom, professional bassist and author of EADG 4 Theory Textbook for Bass Guitar. And we're going to have another Q&A session tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the short scale bass. John, give me a little bit of insight into the short scale bass.
Short scale bass, Dave, came out, Gibson came out with the first one in 1953, called the EB1. EB meaning electric bass 1. It was their answer to Fender's, Leo Fender's P. Leo had the 34-inch neck. Gibson said, let's try something shorter with the 30-inch neck. So the EB1 from Gibson was the first short scale bass to make it shorter. That's the history on it, and it's been going on since '53.
Okay, John, why a short scale bass?
I think Gibson had in mind of bass players because Leo kind of designed that neck off the upright. So I think Gibson was looking for guys who wanted something smaller. Definitely probably wanted something for guys who like something smaller, lighter, and just a smaller instrument than the Fender. So it's basically something smaller for these guys to play and to look at, because when you see something, you know, your vision plays such a big deal in what you play. Don't know. So I think that's why they did that. It's just an option.
Okay, so you add a little variety to your playing.
A little variety, absolutely.
Yeah, because one of the questions, you know, before the show, we were kind of kicking around some ideas, and I wanted to ask you, John, you know, why would you use a short scale bass opposed to, you know, we've done a lot of videos showcasing a lot of other long scale basses. Why would you want to use a short scale bass?
Yeah.
Would it be just to kind of give yourself a little bit of, you know, just to change it up, kind of keep the creative juices flowing? You think?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. If you have, you know, long scales and short scales, you mix it up. You definitely want to mix it up to, like you said, Dave, to keep the creative juices going, because when you play a short scale, it's lighter bass, it's shorter, so you're looking smaller. You know, you're seeing a smaller object, so you're going to think differently with your bass lines. And I think that you hit it on the head, Dave, with the creative juices keeping flowing. It makes you play differently, it makes you think differently. So, but if you only play short scales, your fingers are going to be locked in pretty good of your positioning, because the frets are smaller on the short, Dave, right? But I like what you do. I like having the option of going long scale, short scale, to keep that creative difference going. Definitely.
Yeah. Plus, I think, you know, just something that just thought came into my head was, you know, a lot of times now in the music industry, a lot of the venues when we're playing music you're getting smaller spaces, and they want to have just kind of like background ambiance. Obviously, short scale bass you can play in a smaller space. You can play seated down a little bit easier next to a guitar player, you know, if you choose to.
Yeah, that's another way. I mean, if you got the short scale basses, and you know short space, this guy is light, you can just, you know, like this. And again, the short scale bass is really something phenomenal. There's really, to me, there's not much difference between the sound of a good short scale bass and a good long scale bass. They got great tonalities, both of them. So the sound, you know, you get a good short scale bass, which there's a lot of them out there, it's going to be good. You know, just as good probably the long scale bass.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, now another thing too, obviously with the scale length we talked about in the video, this is what, in a short scale bass, is 30 inches from the nut to the bridge.
Correct, 30 inches from here to here, 30 inches.
So this would be great for younger students, younger kids just starting off in the bass guitar. You know, a long scale bass can be a little bit overwhelming. I think a short scale bass might be a good option for a starter. And obviously if you buy one that's a good quality, it's going to last and it's going to stay in your lineup for quite a while.
That's a great point, Dave. You know, if you're a young guy in, you know, probably 3rd grade, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, freshman year, whatever. You know, I started with short scale basses. My first 3 basses were short scale. I didn't even know they had long scale basses. So there is a difference, you know. So if you're you know, small guy or girl, and you want something that you can handle quite well, get a short scale without a doubt. Yeah. You know, get a short scale.
Right. I know, like Derek, when he was in junior high, was used the short scale bass for the jazz band, just because it was easier to transport back and forth to school on the bus.
Big time.
Yeah.
You know? It's just an easy instrument to transport, and it sounds just as good as a long scale. You know, and for like smaller people, you know, you have a chance of playing it very nicely. So yeah, that's a great point to have a short scale starting out, beginning smaller people.
Right. Another thing too, last time we talked about strings, and when you on a short scale bass, obviously they make strings specific for short scale bass, right? We're not going to buy them and cut them down. That would be a no-no.
Yeah, I mean, you get a short scale bass, buy short scale strings, and try not to cut them, please. You know, these aren't cut; these are short scale, and it's got some wrapping on it, but it's good. Do never buy long scale bass strings for a short scale, because then you'll wind up cutting half your string, and that's bad. You know, so
and there's only so much room on the tuning pegs. Now, I know specifically on the Dan Electro, you mentioned in one of your other videos talking about the Dan Electro bass, that those are actually guitar tuning pegs.
Absolutely, even up here, the guitar, you know, they're small. So you got here, and it's small. Now I got my Gibson, the EB3, where this peg, this actual post is huge.
Okay.
It's like a Fender, so you got plenty of room to wrap.
Okay.
You know, so these is all kind of like a guitar setup up here. So yeah, get short scale strings for the short scale bass.
Okay. I also noticed on this one, the Longhorn here, look at this, the amount of space here that you have. It still gives you the flexibility to reach up and almost, you said this was a double octave bass.
Yeah, double octave.
So are all the short scales like that?
No, they're not. The Dano, this is the 58 Dan Electro horn reissue. This is a 798. This baby goes all the way to 24 frets. It's a high G. So you got your open G, 12 fret G octave, and this baby, 24 frets. Most long scale basses don't have 24 frets. So you got a smaller neck with more frets, which makes playing another journey. You know what I mean? It gives you another different ideas. You know, you squeeze in, your frets are real small up here, but again, it opens up the creative juices, like you said, creep your mind and change up your playing. Fenders have 20 frets, so Fenders, your average Fender P Jazz, up to here, that's 20, right? Your Rickenbacker, 20. Your Gibson's 20.
Right.
Dan Electro, Dano, Alembic, the Stanley Clark version, short scale, right? Awesome bass, Stanley Clark. 24 double octaves. Another, again, it changes up your approach to playing music.
Right, and you're going to have that extra tonal ability up at the top. You know, depending on where you want to hit that note on the string. Maybe you might want to hit that. You want to hit that note maybe on your second string opposed to going to your third string.
Oh yeah, big time. You got so many options up there, Dave. Right, that's a great point. You know, instead of playing the G here, you got the G here, you got the C here. You know, and right there, that C is not on. That tone, that timbre is not on most basses. You can't get that timbre. You know, I love that. So it opens up a whole other world.
So back to the short scale bass.
Right.
Just one of the things that we can do, mostly the idea to add one to the arsenal of instruments that you have would be to the flexibility in your creativity for playing.
Oh God, yeah.
Compactness.
Absolutely.
And then we said it would be good for a beginner, and they can hold on to and play longer.
Yeah, beginners, right? Beginners, and it doesn't. You know, again, the frets are smaller, so you don't have to, you know, move your hand quite as much. You can just kind of like, it's nice. It's nice for beginners, you know, especially if you're smaller. You know, it's not so, scary actually to play up, you know, big long scale.
Yeah.
You know.
Good, and good transition instrument for a lot of guys that are playing in bands. Maybe the bass player, they don't have one.
Right.
Guitar player can easily change over and learn to play bass on this, considering they're about the same size.
Yeah.
In fact, you only have to buy one piece of gear because I believe that a short scale bass will fit in a guitar case.
I would think so. I mean, it's
unless it's
the body is different or something, or the headstock's longer. But
yeah, but if you get like a universal, like a padded case, you know, like maybe like a Gator or something like that, it should be able to fit in there.
Yeah.
Obviously,
that's the case I have for this is a guitar case. So yes, this bass fits right into a guitar case. So it's basically the size of a guitar.
Awesome.
It's cool, and playing a guitar is the size of a bass, which is very cool.
All right, John. Well, thanks for the insights into the short scale bass.
This is good.
And you know, again, for your bass playing experience, if you're looking to add some variety to your playing, kind of maybe give a fresh approach to how you're playing, consider short scale bass. If you don't have one, go to your local music store, try one out. Anyways, that's it for now. We are here at Melody Mart in Homewood, Illinois, 30 miles south of Chicago Loop and the mighty Soldier Field. This is John Falstrom and I signing off, and check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and look for John Falstrom on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Just a dime, blind, wasting time.